I'm now joined by the Palestinian Ambassador to Denmark, Manuel Hassasian. Manuel, thank you so much for joining us. Canada is really following France and the UK with plans to recognise a Palestinian state. Are you supportive of this move, and what difference will it make to the Palestinian people?
It has been a long overdue recognition, but thank God that we reached a position now that most of the allies to the United States, European countries, are acknowledging the fact that there is no solution except the two-state solution, and that cannot really be implemented unless they recognize the state of Palestine. And later the contours of that state will be negotiated with the brokership of maybe Europe along with the United States and what have you. So we welcome, such statements, although these statements of recognition are totally tied to certain conditions that are imposing on the Israelis. It does not make me feel comfortable 100% whether, the intention of recognizing Palestine is there without, putting any kind of conditions and limitations for the Israelis whether to accept or not.
The Danish parliament rejected a proposal to recognise a Palestinian state in 2024. Is Denmark now preparing to change its position after we've heard from the likes of France and the UK?
Yes, actually, I would like to say that Denmark has always a solid position when it comes to the two-state solution, and they always abide by the European, policies, because they are an integral part of Europe. But they are also strategic allies to the United States and Israel. I think, the Danish people are supporting. We have seen it in demonstrations and what have you. And yesterday I had a big symposium in my embassy where we have talked, along with ex-foreign ministers, about time that the Danish government should recognize the state of Palestine. But I don't think they will make the move now. They are waiting to see what the United States is going to react, basically, to the avalanche of European countries which started basically now putting seriously the two-state solution and the recognition of the state of Palestine as a priority agenda. But I don't expect the Danish government soon will come out from the closet and clearly say that, yes, we are going along with the recognition of the state of Palestine, as long as the UK, France, Germany is also ready. I mean, we have seen the foreign minister making some statements where he says it is about time now that we have to consider the recognition of the state of Palestine.
So we're just talking there about the recognition of the state of Palestine. You've also brought up the two-state solution. A lot of people thought the two-state solution idea was pretty much dead in the water. But are the talks about a two-state solution being revived? And is it still possible to get this solution in the future?
Well, the only game in town is the two-state solution. And since the Oslo Agreement, almost now more than 30 years, the international community has shouldered the two-state solution. And if you go to the UN resolutions, let alone the European Commission and what have you, they all talk about a two-state solution. Just a month ago, we had a meeting between our foreign minister, Dr. Varsen Aghabekian, and the foreign ministry, and they reiterated the fact that the two-state solution is the only solution. Now, if you go on the ground and see what happened to the West Bank and that of Gaza, with East Jerusalem being totally secluded, yes, in terms of concrete facts on the ground, you see an island of archipelago with no geographic contiguity. But if the international community insists on the two-state solution, we go back to the 1967 borders with the Arab initiative of 2002, and all the facts on the ground will be reversed. In other words, settlement should be dismantled. 750,000 settlers should go back into Israel proper, and we should have political sovereignty with geographic contiguity of the West Bank, Gaza and East Jerusalem. Yes, it is doable.
So, Manuel, I hear you speaking there, but a lot of people are saying, really, does President Donald Trump have a long-term plan for Gaza's future? We haven't actually heard anything coming out of the US on this. And what difference is Steve Witkoff actually making? We know that he's meeting Netanyahu today, but the plans for the future of Gaza just still seem unclear.
Well, basically, the Americans have made certain plans and suggestions. They wanted to create out of Gaza a French Riviera and what have you. These are talks that cannot really be taken seriously because the people of Gaza are staying in Gaza and nobody is leaving Gaza. And Gaza is going to be rebuilt one way or another. And the national reconstruction, where the Palestinian Authority will be coming back to take over Gaza like before 2007, before the coup d'etat of Hamas and what have you. And we are going to go into the process. We need the Americans not to interfere in the national reconstruction. We don't need them to interfere in our internal business. We don't want them to interfere whether the Arabs and Europeans are going to help us in rebuilding Gaza. All we need from them just to sit idle, not to interfere in our business, because we can arrange our affairs with our brothers, the Arab states, let alone also really true European countries that are concerned in the process of building, the Palestinian state. And it is due now for the United States to understand that self-determination is inevitable for the Palestinian people, for their freedom and independence.
So you don't think that Gaza and the Palestinian state will need finances from the US to rebuild? Do you think Arab countries will be able to comfortably finance this? Because it's going to cost billions to get Gaza back to where it was pre this war that we've seen.
I totally agree with you. We need billions, and we have billions, and we have trillions in the Arab world, and let alone Europe and Asia and all our allies, who will be ready to help us in the national reconstruction and in the rebuilding of Gaza. Let me tell you something. Since the Oslo Agreement, we had a certain commitment by the United States of paying the authority $500 million. Go check the records. More than 15 years, we didn't receive a penny from the Americans, and we survived, man. So we don't need American money.